does our next decade look like? 2025 to 2035, year by year. In this video, we're going to go through each year and see intuitively what we can expect, or at least prepare for, and set our expectations so that we can navigate through the years to come in a way that's more grounded and with more clarity. Be sure to watch till the end because the final years are very exciting. So even at this moment that I'm recording, there's a large wind coming. And this is what 2025 is like. We can feel this big wind coming, these big changes coming, and we're starting to see some parts of that already happening. There will be big shifts this year, big shifts. And so this is like the introduction into a big new paradigm that we're opening up into. And it's going to look like a lot of craziness and chaos in some ways. And for the most of us, most of the humans will not be aware that there's an underlying current of light that's coming in and rising the consciousness because it's doing the shakeout. So this is the time, 2025, to get grounded, to get into a position and a role where we are, you and I are rooted in what we're doing here and why. And not just alone, because I could not be doing this alone, but with community. Find some community, find people that understand, that you can share openly with any parts of yourself, whether it is the human parts, the I'm really scared right now and I don't know what to do, as well as the spiritual self, the deep knowing. Is there spaces in your life where you can show up as all of you? So that's going to be really important to carry us forward. In 2026, this shakeout energy will continue, meaning it will shake out that which is not in alignment. And so any communities or friendships or connections that you have, that we have, and on a global scale, any energies that are not in alignment with deep love and care for each other will begin to be shaken out. So on a personal level, when we have communities in place that support us, this will make our transition into our deep power and our resources much more accessible. Also, on a global scale in 2026, there will be some more signs, more glimpses of the reality to come for you on a personal level, for you and me, and we in Resonance on a personal level. We'll see little openings, little cracks where the light gets in. It'll be just the beginning of that. 2027 is going to be, we say, the peak of the intensity of the shakeout energy. This is where things come to a full moon energy, so to speak, on a larger scale, and where the shakeout will be shaking out a lot. And so this is what we're also preparing for. If we're getting really deep and getting our roots deep. Hey, little bug, do you want to share anything with us? Yeah, you're very small and kind of cute. This is where our grassroots style communities are going to be really important for us as humans. And this is going to be part of what the new earth is these smaller communities coming together. Circles and then circles and circles where they overlap, right? So I'm in this circle and this circle and this circle and this circle, and we all have this overlapping dance. And when we're in these smaller communities, we're much more effective, right? And we have a full life and a more wholesome reality. So starting that now is important. In 2028, the peak will have already been reached, or will be reached somewhere in 2028. And there'll be many more humans in the mainstream, so to speak, who are seeking alternatives to reality, to what has been shown to them by our mainstream culture. And that's where we'll have a lot of new humans wanting to deepen into the roots of love and connectedness. In 2029, our roots as these communities and as the selves that we've become have gotten stronger and are very strong to withstand the craziness that may be happening on the external world. And so we are tapped in, our roots are deep at this level, at this point, and we are tapped into the miracle frequency, and we can see it, feel it, and know it much more often than we can right now. Even with all the changes that are coming on the external, we are deepening those roots. And so 2029 will be about this, wow, like the craziness of this and the depth and the love of this, and they're both coexisting still. 2030, which is 5 years from the recording of this video, is what we see as the first big sign, like big global sign of the miracle energy coming out and through. This is where political and otherwise leaders are actively showing signs of the love of truth coming through them, and they're speaking in service to us, for the planet itself. And this is like big signs of miracle coming out in 2030 for the first time, perhaps. 2031, we continue that energy, and we start to see on the external more solutions coming through, more ideas that we never could have thought of to solve these problems that we're in right now, that we cannot foresee how that will be solved. But when we're tapped into the heart level and this new technology of light is coming through us, the new solutions will be coming through in 2031. 2032 and 2033, we're seeing as this coast. So the wave has already peaked and we're now just coasting into the new age. It's still, intense for sure, but we've come to the point where we know we're going to be okay, or at least we can see that clearly ahead. Like there is a cohesion and a unity that's felt more than ever on this planet, where things like peace and harmony is valued over war and power and gaining power over each other on a global scale that will have softened. And 2034 and 2035, this mainstream normalization of, hey, we went through a lot together as a world. What are we and who are we and what can we create from love now? And all along, it was people like you and me who are making contact right now to help this process be as graceful as possible and to also make it as enjoyable as possible. Because you and I, and those of us who are in resonance with this level of prep, gifted, sensitive, ready to bring forth our gifts and wanting to be in service to a world, because there's nothing more satisfying. There is nothing more satisfying, and I'm saying this for me personally, than living my gifts, living the gifts and giving them as I am, as I'm doing my very best to do, and molding my world, or my world molds around the gift and creates. And this is it for me. And I could not be doing this without you and without our connection. 2025 to 2035 will be intense. And we can have a lot of fun in the moments. And we can create something beautiful that the majority of the world right now, of our brothers and sisters, will be waking up to as their own truth and their own hearts open and blossom. And so that starts now for us. We're the ones who are tapping in now, calling this gathering. That's a long process. And so let's not get burnt out. Let's get a steady pace. And we do that through making contact and being in community. In April of 2025, right now, we're having a book club with my book. The last self-help book, we went as far as we could on our own. And of course, there are chickens, bananas, and potatoes. So if you usually read books that has one or maybe two of them at most, this book has all three. We're going to have a life-changing 5-week book club in the Unity Collective. And so I invite you to join for that. The first session is free, and then the full 5 weeks is only $24. So join right now, and I hope to see you in there. It's going to be really, really beautiful, and it's forming exactly the thing that is preparing us to thrive in these next 10 years, living the gifts that we are. I will see you very soon.